Listening to the recent Katt Williams interview, it got me thinking about what Katt was talking about. Here's what he said: status symbol, trophy wife, etc. But one reason that stood out to me most was the idea that there once was a time when a black man could be killed for even looking at a white woman. For some black men, it was the ultimate revenge to covet her, and in other ways, it was considered the forbidden fruit. Let's delve into history of racial relationships between black men and white women that have some black men thinking this way and how other factors should be considered. Historically, there have been instances where false accusations by white women against black men for various offenses, including sexual assault, led to severe consequences. These accusations often fueled racial tensions, resulting in the destruction of black communities and the unjust persecution of black men. This disturbing pattern was notably prevalent during periods of heightened racial animosity in the United States, such as slavery, post-Reconstruction era, and the Jim Crow era. These false allegations contributed to a legacy of racial injustice, impacting both individuals and entire communities. Over the decades, interracial marriage has grown. The approval of interracial marriage in the U.S. has reached a new high of 94%, a significant increase from the mere 4% in 1958, according to a recent Gallup poll conducted from. This trend reflects one of the most substantial transformations in public opinion over the past 6 decades. The U.S. Supreme Court's 1967 decision in Loving v. Virginia, legalizing interracial marriage nationwide, marked a turning point, leading to a gradual increase in support, reaching majority levels in 1997 and exceeding 90% in the current reading. Notably, the racial gap in approval has substantially diminished, with white and non-white Americans showing similar approval rates, 93% and 96%, respectively. This marks a significant change from previous decades, where double-digit gaps existed. The shift in national approval is primarily driven by increasing support among white Americans, while approval among non-white Americans has remained stable. Generational differences in views on interracial marriage have also narrowed, with older adults now nearly as supportive as their younger counterparts. This indicates a positive trend in evolving attitudes across generations. At the same time, while nearly 90% of Americans are in favor of marriages between black and white people, the rate of interracial marriage remains relatively low at less than 1% of all marriages. This discrepancy may be because the general interracial marriage opinion questions used in surveys are too broad for understanding how people actually feel about marrying outside one's race. Digging further into the data, they find that only 42% of black people and 13% of white people strongly favor their close relative marrying someone of the opposite race. Today, 87% of Americans say they approve marriages between black and white people. However, the responses change dramatically when they are asked more directly about how they feel if one of their close relatives wants to marry outside their race. Results from recent research show that more than half, 54%, of blacks are in favor of their close relative marrying a white person. The result is lower for whites, among whom only 1 in 4, 26%, said they were in favor of their close relative marrying a black person. Such findings show that interracial relations are still unfavorable in the United States. Then there is the power dynamics that exist between black men and white women in relationships. There is a history of racial power dynamics between black men and white women, where white women can use her power against her black husband at any time during their marriage. Power dynamics within interracial relationships between black men and white women can be influenced by societal structures. Situations from falsely accusing black husband of domestic violence to white privilege may contribute to power imbalances. White privilege refers to the unearned advantages that white individuals may experience in various aspects of life due to their racial background. It's possible for a white woman to benefit from societal structures that grant her certain privileges. This can manifest in various ways, such as easier access to educational opportunities, better job prospects, or less exposure to systemic racism. Another topic that rarely is talked about is transfer of generational wealth. The transfer of generational wealth in interracial marriages, particularly when a wealthy black man has a divorce or passes away, introduces nuanced dynamics that can influence the broader black community. The decision to allocate wealth to a white wife rather than the black family poses challenges and raises questions about the impact on the community at large. One notable concern is the potential strain on community relations when a substantial portion of wealth is directed towards a white spouse. This can lead to perceptions of prioritizing individual interests over community well-being, stirring debates within the Black community about the responsibility of affluent individuals to contribute to collective progress. Allocating generational wealth to a white spouse may bypass opportunities to address systemic inequality within the Black community. Critics argue that directing resources towards community-based initiatives, education, and entrepreneurship could contribute more significantly to long-term upliftment. The decision to transfer wealth to a white spouse may perpetuate economic disparities. Concerns arise about reinforcing existing wealth gaps within the Black community, potentially hindering efforts to break cycles of poverty and fostering a sense of disconnection among community members. As affluent Black individuals navigate the complexities of wealth transfer, there is a growing call for reflection on the broader impact of their choices. Advocates emphasize the importance of inclusive legacies that not only benefit immediate family members, but also contribute to the economic empowerment of the wider Black community. In conclusion, while exploring the multifaceted dynamics of interracial relationships, particularly between Black men and white women, we find ourselves at the crossroads of history, power, and wealth. While societal attitudes toward interracial marriage have evolved, the stark reality of lingering disparities, power imbalances, and generational wealth transfer challenges persist. As we navigate this intricate landscape, it becomes imperative for individuals to ponder not only personal choices, but also their broader impact on community well-being. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.